Hi guys, welcome to the live for the 11th month. Let's wait a couple of more minutes, okay, so that we can start exactly at 8. So guys, if you are joining in and just leave on the chat window your name so that I know who is inside. So guys, we are about to start, but let's wait just a couple of minutes so that we start at 8 exactly, okay? Hi Jose, welcome. Hi Bart, welcome also. The Real Majestic 12, hi also. 2 persons from Belgium, nice. So we are about to start. Guys, if you have questions that you want to be addressed in the live, leave them on the chat also, so that we can then just talk a little bit about them at the end of the small recap that I will do. Okay, guys, so let's start. So it's 8 o'clock. Let's start in time. It's a very Portuguese thing, start in time. I'm kidding. Okay, so as usual, let's start with the January recap. So what were the videos that were made during January? And you know that most of the videos that were made were because of some communication problems that we had with XPeng recently, and also some news and rumors that start popping up. So there was the topic of the chips. We can talk a little bit about that later on. But there was the topic of the 2 orange chips on the European cars, the new G6 and G9 facelifts. That was not, in fact, real. And then there were a lot of some other newspapers and news websites telling that the cars that were going to be presented in January by XPeng in Europe were the P7 Plus and also the G7 E-Rev. And I immediately knew that it was something strange because, in fact, G7 is known that probably will never come to Europe. We don't know, of course. There is no official answer on that. But it is not. It was not presented on the AIA. So the G7 seems to be something that they are keeping to China. I don't know. Let's see. But then in reality, it was only presented the P7 Plus as it was expected. But again, a lot of stuff was coming from that Brussels car show with information about the future development of our cars that end up with a letter from XPeng Europe asking us to be calmed, relaxed, because things were being taken care of. So let's see what will happen. And I had the opportunity during last month to test the G9 facelift, and I was really happy with it. It is an amazing car. You guys that follow the channel, you know that I do love the G9. It was my car. It was the car that I wanted to buy, but unfortunately I was not with that budget available. And I end up buying the G6 that I still love very much. But G9 is a special car for me. And using those massage seats was really amazing. And I enjoyed it a lot. In fact, it was a real pleasure to test the car. It was really cool from car class to borrowing the car for a couple of days so that I could make the tests. So it was great. I made a couple of videos on that. And I am now testing the G6. This will be for the future month. So this month that we are now, February. I will in fact test the G6 as I did with the G9, but in this case, of course, as it is more or less the same car that I have, it will be more in a comparison mode. So I will take that opportunity to compare with the old version. I hate to call it old, and with the new facelift, in this case long range that I have been testing. I delivered the car today again to car class. So I don't have it anymore. And then I made a video that some people asked me to do about the build quality. So after these months and kilometers, I made finally the build quality. And again, if you saw that video, you know what I think about that. But if you didn't saw, I do believe that the build quality is still very good. So it had the power to remain very good during these months. So almost 11 months now, and almost 40,000 kilometers that I am reaching, that I will reach this month for sure. And then this month I also have a new partnership that you already noticed for sure, that is with XPeng. For accessories, and so they are providing this discount code for you guys. So I just recently released the video today about that, and I am expecting to receive some new accessories that I then will review, of course, in the channel. Guys, let's move immediately for the consumption Excel file that I have, so that we can move on, and let's talk a little bit then about the questions, because I do believe that we want to talk a little bit about that. Let me change now to the Excel file. So here we are, the Excel file that you are already used to see if you are following the lives. And as you can see, this past month, I didn't charge outside. Okay, so let's do this very quick. I didn't charge outside, so it was only domestic charging. And I did charge 839 kilowatts in my home. This means 92.88 euros on energy spent this month to do almost 4,000 kilometers. So this means that I am wasting or spending 2.39 euros per 100 kilometers. I do believe that this is very cheap, because comparing with a diesel car, for instance, it would be meaning that I would have a car that makes 1.5 liters per 100 kilometers. So I did save 269 euros again on this month, just on energy. So totally 11 months on energy saving. So for the running costs, I already matched the 2,000, almost 400 euros. Okay, so I will be having more savings than I was anticipating, because in my TCO, total cost on ownership, when I planned to buy this car, I thought on doing 2,000 euros of savings, and currently it's already 2,400, and I am still missing just 1 month. Okay, this month the deviations from the app are very reduced. So there was a recent update. I am in the beta program for the XPeng app, so I don't know if this release was already arriving to everyone, but it seems that at least the deviations from the XPeng app data to the existing car, to the odometer, were minimum, so 42 kilometers. There are still differences, but it was minimal. And the difference is still around 5 to 10% on the charging. So, but we know already what this means. It means that we are losing energy between the charger and the car because of the transformation of energy. It was clarified a long time ago. So this was the consumption, as you see, per day. So for almost 4,000 kilometers again. So every single month I'm eating around, eating these numbers. So a lot. I never made this amount of kilometers in any car, so I don't know if it is the XPeng comfort and quality that is pushing me to do more kilometers, or it's just my life that is pushing me to do all these kilometers. So this Excel and this recap I will do only for 1 month more. So I will finalize this chapter for 1 year. So I will conclude 1 year of lives doing these running costs, and then I will just do the lives for chatting with you guys, talking about what we have done, what we will do, and just asking questions and answering to questions that you may have, and just have a little chat with you guys. But we will stop using these Excel files. Okay, so let me move again to my beautiful face. And let's talk now a little bit about the future. So what I am planning to do for February. So first, let me tell you, and I will release a video today because I am playing a lot with an AI tool. I released the video already because I am trying to level up the channel, and I cannot change myself. I cannot change the car. I don't have money to change the surroundings. So I will try just to generate a couple of clips for introductions, for channel chapter changes and stuff like that. And I am using AI on that. And I recently published a video on that. But I am playing now, and I will show you a revelation that many people are not expecting, but it's true. I found something very important about XPeng, but I will release this video still today, okay, later, but I will do that. And I will talk about some things that I am doing on that AI platform and what I am expecting for the future. So I will play a little bit about that. So February, XPeng G6 facelift edition, long range. I had this car for this weekend, and I was able to test, see the interior, exterior, the differences, the changes, compared with my own car. I took it for a couple of rides on city urban environments. I took it because I took my mother-in-law to Porto again. So I went yesterday, Sunday, to Porto and come back in the same day. So I left at 9 a.m., made 320 kilometers, left my mother-in-law and her stuff there, and returned 320 kilometers before the new storm hit us, because we are being fustigated with storms here in Portugal. And you will see that on the video of that trip. It's a little bit sad for some regions in Portugal that were really devastated because of the storm. I will make a new video on the XPeng app. So I am planning to do that because I just realized that I have a video on the XPeng app, but it's the previous one. And there are already some news on the app that I believe that we should do a new video for that. And we, of course, will follow the many OTAs and beta testing that it's being made currently. Unfortunately, I was not invited for any of them. I probably know why, because I have the channel, and probably XPeng knows that if I get the beta, I will be doing videos on that, and they want us to be quiet on that. And I understand the situation. The betas are to be tested, not to be disclosed. But I will, of course, try to get some information, trying not to disclose any important information, but at least try to see what exists and what can be fixed. And let's see. But this is what we will do during February, because it should be, at least it is the plan, during February beta testing, and then on March release. Also, I saw some information. There is a web page of a guy, XPeng Guru, something like that, that has a plan for the releases, OTA releases. And he says that we will have these 587, then we will have a 589, and then we will have a 5.9, and then finally a 6. Still in 2026. So it seems that he says that we will have 3 to 4 OTAs this year. Let's see if he's right. The information that I got was that we would have this one now and then more 2, so 3. So I don't know. Let's see. I hope he's right. More means more. I hope. So let's see what happens in the future. And I do believe that this year will be fantastic. I do believe that this year will be a growth year for XPeng, despite the fact that the numbers that they presented for January sales it seems that they were not the better ones. Okay. But let's see. I do believe that they will recover from that, and that we will have a good year for XPeng. I do hope so. It would be very important for all of us. And that's it, guys. For the recap, this is it. I don't have many more to talk about, so I do believe that we should go to the questions. So let me just first say hi to everyone that it's on the live. So I see that we have currently 19 persons in the live. So welcome. I hope you are enjoying the channel, and I do enjoy to have you here. So guys, if you have any questions or if you want to discuss any topic, just leave in the chat so that we can do that without any further delays. Okay, so let me go first for one of the questions that we had here that was made on the publish that I made when I announced the live. That was hopes and expectations for the OTA 5.8.7. Okay, let me say that the expectation is not big one. And what I mean with this is that, as you know, numbers usually in software mean something, and 5.8.7, so it's just a change on the third level. So this means usually minor updates, okay? Usually bug fixes and minor updates. So I am not expecting to get new features. Even knowing that XPeng was testing some new functionalities in some other betas in different regions, Indonesia, Malaysia, France, and stuff like that, with a couple of new features, one of them that many people want in the cars, mainly people that are coming from Teslas, and you probably already understood what I am talking about. I don't know if they will release now this, because again, it's 5.8.7, so it's minor and just usually bug fixes, but we never know if they want to present us with something new. So let's see what happens, or if they will keep continuing testing those functionalities so that they can release them then on 5.9, for instance, or even later on. So I don't know, really, I don't know what will happen there. So the expectation itself in terms of new features, new functionalities is not high, okay? I am not expecting big news on that, but I do believe that with the amount of time that they will be testing, and I believe that they will be focusing on two main things. First, the fact that the new facelifts with the 5.8 version that was released a couple of months ago is having a lot of bugs. Okay, there is a lot of stuff that it's not working properly, and it's just let me be very open and frank. It's stupid bugs, okay, that are easy to fix. So I do believe that they will focus on that so that we have the cars just running as normal. One of them, you probably know, and many people that have the facelift already complained about that, is that if you are just running with the TomTom navigation, the inbuilt navigation system, if there is any notification from Android Auto, for instance, the navigation goes out, so it disappears. And I saw that with the G6 now, traveling with it, and it's a little bit pain in the ass to have that in that way. So I do believe that they will fix those that stuff. So that is one of the things that they will probably do, is fix all these strange behavior of the 5.8 on the facelift versions. And then the other thing that I believe that they will try to improve is the ADAS system. So the system that does our self-driving. Okay, I do believe that they will fix that also in this version. Okay, so this is my feeling. My expectations are these. So I do expect bug fixing in terms of the 5.8 for the facelift users, and also the ADAS platform, the systems for the ADAS X Pilot will be improved. I don't know if they will be improved for new things, or if they will just take out the problems that they introduced with the 5.8 that many people complain. I myself prefer the 5.8 version compared with the previous ones, but many people do not. So I don't know what they will do in this matter. Okay, so that was the question that I had on that publish. So let me go for the chat and see what we have here. So I already said hi to Jose and Bart and also the Real Majestic. Bart ordered a G6 long range in December. Do you have already the car, or are still waiting? Probably. So from December, probably you are still waiting. I loved the new G6 long range. Not the long range itself, but because for me it's enough, the standard range. But I have to admit, and when the G6 and G9s were presented, I was a little bit not taking it as a real facelift, like a real evolution of the car. I thought just a couple of things were added. But driving it and having it for a couple of days, I did realize that they did improved the car. It's you feel the improvement. You feel that there was many things that improved and that are different currently in the new G6, and I think they are going in the right way with the new G6 and of course the new G9. Okay, so you are a lucky guy. Hello from Austria. So Christian, the Majestic said, I have ordered my G6 Performance last week. Can't wait. Watch most of your videos since beginning this year. That got me to choose XPeng. So I hope you don't get regrets for that. I am just trying to show everyone what is my feeling with the car, guys. So the car has problems, of course. I don't believe that there is one single car that doesn't have any problems. So the car does have problems, but it's a really good car. It's a really good machine. The technology that it has, with some faults, with some things that need to be fixed, but it's a great ride. I do love my XPeng, still love my XPeng. Okay, so I do believe that you will like it also. Alfonso here from Zaragoza, Spain, my brother. I got a question for later. Would you choose for XPeng again since you have 38 kilometers at the moment, or would you consider another brand like Zeekr or other brands? I already answered these, and I will do a video on that, because many people ask me if this question, and sometimes they even go directly for the question about Tesla. Zeekr is a good one, okay, because I do believe that Zeekr is bringing very nice cars to the market. Even in Portugal, we don't have it still, but from what I can see over internet, I think they will be a good player also. But so if I had to buy a car right now, I would do exactly what I did 11 months ago or 12 months ago. That was looking at the market, knowing what Tesla is doing and knowing what XPeng is doing. In comparison between these two brands, I will choose an XPeng for sure, okay? There is only one detail. I got the standard range because it was enough for me, and my budget was on that point. Currently, XPeng made a decision of stripping down a little bit the standard range G6, okay? So they reduced a little bit. So I was used to know XPeng as one single configuration. The only difference was battery size, okay? More or less, of course. Performance has two motors, etc. But you understand what I'm meaning. But now they introduced this concept that the standard range is a stripped down car, a little bit at least. But I think this is a trend, and this is the just to try to push some other people to the brand, as Tesla is doing. And I did look at the website of Tesla, and they now have a standard, and even they have the long range standard, and then they have introduced now long range premium. Okay, so they are doing the same. And so that XPeng continues to be competitive, they need to do that also. So I understand that. And why I am mentioning this, if the time comes today to buy a car, if it was a standard, I don't know. Because I went to XPeng because of the self-driving, the technology, all of the things that it currently has. So I would have to see if there is anything else in the market at the same price level that could be compared to that. But if I had money for the long range, for instance, there is no doubt. Yes, I would go for the XPeng without any doubt. Maybe wait for the P7 Plus, okay? Because the P7 Plus, it's also a great car. I would prefer even the new P7 or the next P7 or whatever they call it. Because it is really amazing. I was there. I was inside of one already, and I loved it. But I would get an XPeng also. Yes. Then Sergey picking up my G9 Black Edition. It's a great. The Black Edition is amazing. Next week, finally, yeah, you will have fun with that for sure. DJ Tojol here. Hi everyone, hi Hugo. So one of my members of the channel, one of my supporters, thank you very much. And we have here then, partnership sounds so nice, congrats. Yes, it's not a big partnership, guys. I don't know how to do this, to be honest. I am approached already sometimes for partnerships, but they are somehow strange, and I don't know how to negotiate any of this stuff. So basically, let me be honest and frank. What the Funds XPeng gave me is they do give me a commission for every order that it's made using my referral link, and they give you a discount code so that you guys can have also a benefit. So basically, this is the partnership that I have. But it's good. It's nice to be considered for partnerships. It's nice. It helps to support the channel. I want this year to buy new material, new cameras, because I'm still recording with my cell phone. I am still recording with a GoPro 5 that many times stops working because it's hot or because it doesn't want to work. So I do need to buy new equipment so that I can make the videos with quality for you guys. And I feel that I need to bring the channel a little bit up to make it a little bit more professional, even though that I want to make it still amateur as I am, just showing you how I use the cars and bring that information to you guys. But making it with a little bit more quality, I would love that too, because it's something that I want to do, but let's see. So Christian here again, I got my G6 long range in December, now 3,000 kilometers. It is fantastic. It is. I cannot say nothing against that. Wait, 0.09 cents per kilowatt at home. Yes. Well, with taxes included in Belgium. Okay, let me explain. Yes, it is. So here in Portugal, we do have, I do consider that we have cheap electricity. It needs to be negotiated. I was paying more. I am with that only in off-peak hours, so at night. It is going to be, it is 0.11 cents with taxes, okay? So it's 0.09 without taxes, but then I have to pay also a value for each day, but I would have to pay that also anyway. Charging or not charging, it would be the same. But yes, yeah, it is very cheap to charge here. Yes, let's move to Portugal. You are welcome. We are getting so many people here, so it's okay. That's it's in cheap there. They can let you sign an NDA, of course. So I probably, yeah, you were referring about the OTAs. Yeah, they can, but I think they are still very new to understand this type of stuff. This is my feeling. So what I feel is that they are new in marketing, in communication, in even in sales. I see that they still need time to understand how all these markets work. So I believe that they know very well how the Chinese market works, but they are entering in so many different markets with so different people. Even Europe, how we handle things in Portugal is completely different of Germany or Austria or Belgium or France. We are different, and they are entering in so many different markets that I believe that it's very complex for them to control everything and to know how to approach all of these. And for me, it's very clear that because you can see the amount of things that they release, the different configurations. In some places they call, I already saw G6 Hair. Here is G6 Standard. In China is Ultras and whatever. So a lot of naming, a lot of differences, and that's why there are so many times problems in communication, because we sometimes don't know of what we are talking about. So it's a complex matter. Let's see. From Athens, so a Greek colleague that has a Greek name that I will not even try to say it. Sorry, man. XPeng stocks fall. Yeah, they did fall a lot. I have a couple of XPeng stocks. I don't even mention that in the channel on those disclaimers, because I do think that I have that there, but it's so little stocks, the amount, that it doesn't even say something. But they did rise a lot, and they are falling now. I didn't catch up the why. So I don't know if it is just a market trend or a global thing, or if it is related to something happening in XPeng that I'm not aware of. So I really don't understand very well how stocks work. So then I have here Babista. One question: Hugo, XPeng in Portugal are just an existing retailer that they act as importer, or they are indeed an XPeng office? In Spain, they are an existing retailer and they lack a lot of information. It's the same in Spain. In Portugal, it's Caetano, Salvador Caetano. It's a company, an importer that in Portugal, for instance, imports a lot of brands, and they are exactly the same importer for Portugal and Spain. Okay. So then, of course, they have different teams in Spain and in Portugal. So sometimes I do feel that they lack a couple of some information sometimes. But it's, of course, different when they have XPeng directly, and when they have just an importer. So I do believe that they receive information, but I don't think that they will be treated as an XPeng company. It's as importer, it has a contract. They will get some money, some infrastructure, some information, and then they sell cars. And then this ends up as in every single market, we have good professionals and bad professionals. I have been in touch and I started to talk directly with the importer, the persons responsible for the operations here in Portugal. They were very good. They were amazing. We got in touch with also the marketing team. So this is also a partnership, let's call it like that. So I have now an official partnership with the importer of XPeng in Portugal. So it's a good news. And what can I retrieve from them? Just the availability of, for instance, cars to test, okay? Because until now, I had always a trouble to get these cars to test. So I finally found, and the person that is borrowing me the cars was the person that sold to me the G6, but he has some difficulty sometimes to borrow me the cars because they are a storefront. So they are a retailer that sells XPengs. They only sell XPengs, but they need the cars to show to potential customers, you know, and they don't have unlimited cars. So for them, it's really complicated to borrow me a car for a couple of days so that I can do my content in the best way. And so XPeng in Portugal, in this case, the Caetano, Salvador Caetano, the importer, they reached out and they made this agreement with me that when they have information about car shows, events, and when there are new releases, they will then have the possibility to borrow me the cars for more days so that I can test them and make the content and show you guys everything about that. So it was a recognition. I am very happy for that. It was a very good conversation. But again, as you are saying, in Spain, it's exactly the same importer. Okay, so we are exactly the same, but then it all ends up to how good the professional is. Okay. So Nigel here, Hugo, how often have you had to open the bonnet and check the fluid levels like the coolant? Have your wiper blades lasted kilometers of driving? How is the tire wear approaching? Okay. I opened the bonnet 2 times to add just liquid for the wipers, okay? Nothing else. Then on the blades, they are still there. I have ordered from Franz XPeng some blades, new blades that I am expecting them to arrive so that I can change them and see if they are good. And then I will tell you guys also. And finally, the tires. Okay, the tires, it's a complex matter, and I hope you guys don't get mad with me. Remember when I went to make the tire rotation, I made the video. It was around 24,000 kilometers. The guys on that office, the tire shop, they told me that my tires were already very torn, that I should consider to replace them when the rain starts. But I was a little bit sad and even mad about that because 20,000 kilometers for tires, I was a little bit not accepting that. And there is still space to use, and I am still using them. So I made the tire rotation, and I am still using exactly the same tires. So 38,000 kilometers, and I am still using the same tires. So what can I say? I do believe that I will need to change them. So I will do the maintenance, the 40,000 kilometers maintenance now, this month, February. I am already planning that. I am trying to get more information on what is made on the maintenance so that I can inform you guys also on that. And I will ask them to check my tires again to see if they in fact need to be replaced already or not. But until now, I still have them. So 38,000 kilometers with the original tires. But I believe that they already need to be replaced. Okay. Now we'll be arriving end of March, begin April. Okay, it was the answer about the December buy. Okay, do you think XPeng will release a chat assistant that works like Grok in Tesla, where you can have a conversation with it? It looks like BMW, Skoda, and XPeng are going to that way as well with the AI. Yes, so they have presented the VLM, okay, that is even a little bit more advanced than what Grok is doing on Tesla. So yeah, I believe that the future will be that. I don't know if we will get that VLM that we saw presented by them, because it seems that it is really very advanced and probably it needs the Turing chips. But to have just AI chat assistants included in the car, I don't believe that it's very complex, because guys, we have Android Auto, for instance, and CarPlay that has assistants inside, so Google Assistant and also Siri, and they can perform a lot of functions. So it's just a matter of having an API and a couple of comments that can then interact with the car itself. So the APIs exist because if they have the assistants, they have this interface. So when you execute a comment, the assistant executes inside the car. So it will be more or less the same with something outside. So the problem here that I don't know is that what you are seeing is that many brands are going on the direction of Google Automotive for the infotainment system. Tesla, of course, it's Elon Musk, so the Grok introduction was natural. Okay, in case of XPeng, if they decided to continue the path of the VLM and with their own assistants, I don't know if it will take a little bit more time, because I think it would be easier to introduce something like Google Assistant, Gemini, but then we have, of course, a situation that would be related to legal and authorizations and compliances and all of that stuff that I really don't know if we will have that or not. So I believe that the way is that I believe that in some point in time we will have an assistant that it's more intelligent, that it's more AI, real AI, that will interact with the outside world together with what she can do inside. We saw that XPeng has these already with the VLM, that will be able to do even more very advanced stuff, like recognizing the persons inside the car and then executing the commands according to those persons. So that is really advanced. Also, the possibility to change languages automatically. If someone inside the car is talking in English and then someone talks in German and someone talks in Chinese, the assistant will be able to recognize the person and answer to that person in their own languages. It's all that in my video on the VLM. It's a promo video, of course, so I believe that it's not still deployed in any car, even in China, but the way is there. So we know that XPeng wants to go in that way. The only question is, what do we need to have in our cars to be able to do that? Let's see. Pedro here, my friends, it's planned an OTA for this month. I don't know exactly when the OTA for the public will be released. The information that I have is that during February, we will have tests, okay? People that are beta testers that were chosen in many countries, they were choose 5, 10, 20 users. They will get, I don't know if they already got the OTA, the beta, but they will be testing it during this month. So I believe that it will depend on the tests, the feedback, how many iterations we will have on the betas, so that we reach a point where they can release to the public. I believe that this time they will take their time to make sure that everything is correctly tested so that they can then deploy to the public. I do hope so. I do prefer to wait a couple of more weeks and then get a proper release, very well tested, instead of just getting quickly a release and then waiting a lot of months for corrections to arrive. So this is my feeling. Are they aware of the battery app drain on Android? Yes, they are. Okay, they are aware of that. I sent a couple of messages to the infotainment team. Let me try to, without disclosing any information, let me try to find here what they said about all of that things. So there are topics about the route planning, the topic of the having a problem on the navigation that doesn't start. So it gives an error on the online and goes to offline mode. It's related to the T-Box. This was the information that I got. I will have the T-Box replaced, so I will do also a video on that, the differences between with the old T-Box and the new T-Box. The facelift cars probably don't have this problem, okay? We are aware of the high battery consumption on the Droid XPeng app, okay? So they are testing it and trying to solve it. Instrument cluster layout changing automatically makes sense, and they will take that in consideration and look at that. This is related to the fact that when you have, for instance, Android Auto popping up, the left or right part of the screen changes to navigation, the TomTom navigation. So they will look at that also. So they are aware of all of those stuff. Okay. Are you overall happy with XPeng? A lot. Again, all cars have problems. XPeng has problems, has some bugs, has some things that do not work well. That is clear. I think everybody knows that. There is no single owner that will be completely happy. But the quality of the car, construction, drivability, usability, all of that, even the technology inside is amazing. And guys, again, I don't know how to explain this because it's sometimes very difficult for me, even though that I have opened almost all my life because I'm doing these videos. But I spend a lot of time inside my car, guys, not only driving, because 40,000 kilometers is a lot of kilometers for a Portuguese. And especially that I work at home, so I don't even have to arrive home to work. But I do a lot of kilometers, and not only that, and this is what I sometimes have difficulties to explain. Sometimes I have to drive a lot of kilometers and then stay inside the car for 1-2 hours, expecting that my kids do their practices or whatever, because as they live away, I cannot just go outside and leave them there and go back home. I need to stay waiting for them, and sometimes I also like to watch those practices games and stuff like that, but then I have to pick them up again and take them home. And while I'm do that, guys, I watch series, I see TV, I listen to music, I relax, I meditate, there is so many things to do inside the car. The only thing that I regret was that I sold my Steam Deck a couple of weeks before getting the XPeng. Because if I even had my Steam Deck, I tried with the Nintendo Switch, but it was from one of my kids. I hate Nintendo Switches. But I had my Steam Deck. I would have a lot of fun inside the car with the Steam Deck. So yes, I'm still loving it and enjoying it a lot. Okay. Have you heard, let's see, does XPeng do events in Portugal? Yeah, they do some events in Portugal, but like sales events, okay? So they do the experience days, they call it like that, where they let people try out the cars, they explain everything. So it's like official events, but sales events. And then there are some car shows. I got invitation. And for all the Portuguese that may be watching the live, I will then release a video, of course, on that. But I was approached by the e-car show that happened last year that I was there. I made a video on that, and they approached me. They also sent me an email asking me if I want to go to the new one and even probably get a couple of tickets to provide to my viewers. Of course, I can offer also to the international viewers, but then you have to come to Portugal to go to the e-car show. So normal events of cars, and probably I will be there also seeing what XPeng has to show there. Usually it's the current cars, but I will also get to see what the other car vendors have in place so that we can just analyze what the market has to offer. Okay. Have you heard more on the BID EU charging network? They had big plans. Yeah, I heard about BID EU charging network, but I also heard about XPeng charging network that they are planning on starting deploying, and I believe that they already started doing something on that. I have to make a video on that also, but I don't know if they are planning to come to Portugal or not, and if this will be anything. I have some difficulties to understand that, and even on Tesla, but many people that are coming from Teslas that use the supercharger network, I see that all of them love that possibility because they have discounts and even some points that they have free chargers and stuff like that. But for me, as I am a recent EV owner and I never use own network, for me, it's just natural that I just go to anywhere and just charge my car. So I don't really know if XPeng charging network would be really beneficial for me or not, to be honest. Do you think they will launch more apps in the App Store? Well, I hope so. I really don't know. Oh, well, let me be very honest. I would prefer to have all the apps that I have the possibility to have on Xiaomi TV sticks or Google TV sticks or even CarLink kits and stuff like that. It would be amazing to have all that inside the in infotainment, inbuilt apps. So like having a Google Play Store there so that we could install everything. It would be perfect because you don't need to use any external device. It's just clicking on the screen and that's it. So I would prefer that. But the reality is that XPeng provides you a lot of functionalities and openness in terms of connecting different devices that I don't miss any app. Okay, so I have everything. I wanted to have, for instance, the inbuilt TomTom beta, okay, because then the navigation, it's a very specific and special app because it needs to be connected to the car to retrieve information from the car so that it can plan more. That is something that I believe that Tesla has better because it has Google Maps over there. So it's a little bit better, the system, than we have in XPeng. But for all the other apps, I do believe that we have ways to use them. So it's not that the system is blocked in any way. If you don't have apps on the inbuilt system, you can have them on external devices if they just need to use the screen to watch something, or even CarLink kits and AI box, Google boxes, for instance, are perfect to connect to the car and use them. And even there are people replacing the full infotainment of XPeng and using their own designed infotainment system. And it works. You need time, of course, to customize everything, to have it at your own tastes, but it's possible to do that. And in many other cars, it is not possible. So I see people with Peugeot and other cars, other brands, that they don't have the hardware to do that. So they don't have, for instance, the screen to be able to do that. They don't have the possibility to connect an external device and watch the screen of the car as a big TV, let's call it like that. Then you have Tesla that it's locked in their own ecosystem, and to make other things, you need to use a web browser or almost jailbreak the car to be able to do that. In XPeng, you have a big screen, you have a small screen so that when you are using the big screen, you can still have all the relevant information for driving in the small screen. So perfect. You have stalks, you have buttons, and you have external devices connection. You have Android Auto and CarPlay so that you can use AI boxes. So it's a huge plenitude of options to use inside the car. So it's amazing. Okay, do you think launch my app store? Refreshing app daily. They promised beta for first people to claim soon here in February. Refreshing app daily. They promised beta for the first people to claim soon here in February. So you were one of the persons that were invited for the beta, if I'm not mistaken, right? So yeah, they will release the beta in February, but again, I believe that it's going to be minor bug fixes and improvements. So don't expect new functionalities. At least this is my feeling, okay? Let me be honest, I already saw the release notes, okay? And in the release notes, there is no new functionality. So it's bug fixing, improvements, some adjustments and stuff like that, okay? So let's see. Does your car have lag while accelerating on, or the response is immediate? No, it is not immediate, and it depends also on the way you drive. And let me just add this. My G6 is a standard range previous model, okay, so 2024, let's call it like that. And I think that on sport mode, the lag is minimal, okay? There is a situation if you accelerate, brake, and resume back to accelerate, then there is a lag, okay? Sometimes, but it's minimal if you drive in sport mode. What I found on the new G6 long range that I test drove this weekend is that even in comfort mode, the lag is less than in my car. So probably they did change something there and it's improved. It was my feeling, okay? I didn't even drove the new XPeng G6 in sport mode because I found that comfort was more or less the same as I have in my when using sport mode. So yes, I do have a small lag, but if you do drive in eco mode, you will feel the lag much more, okay? And if you drive in eco mode because of efficiency, check my Ride with Me videos that I did a long time ago, where I test drive the car in different modes, and then I realized that driving in sport mode but not pushing the car to the limits is so efficient that it's even equal to eco mode, okay? So check those videos and make your own decision. I drive every day 35 kilometers, one way to work, LCC and massage on, and the day is perfect. Yeah, don't talk me about massage because I just delivered the G6 back and now I don't have a massage again, and I do like it. My wife doesn't like it much, okay? She feels that it's very aggressive, even in low mode, but for me, it's amazing. I don't even... Well, I have to imagine how to drive without massage because my car doesn't have it, so I have to do it. About AI Grok and ChatGPT runs in the XPeng browser. Yeah, of course. So again, that's why I say that there is no big problem on introducing that. So you just need, because again, ChatGPT, Grok, Gemini, Google Assistant, Siri, all of those assistants are running not in your phone, they are running in their servers, okay? So you just need an internet connection. So of course you can have that in any car, it's just a matter of implementation. And then the problem here is that you want the AI assistant to be able to do all of that to the external world, but you then want them to recognize a couple of commands and interact with the car. And this is the issue, okay? Is this interface, these APIs, and then of course it's not just XPeng opening the APIs. They need to talk with the AI agents so that everything works correctly and there are no breaches and no problems with the car. So, but I believe that it's something that will arrive sooner or later. Okay. XPeng charging network in EU sounds very interesting. I'm not sure if it is on EU that I saw, but I saw something about XPeng charging network. And if you go to the XPeng app, if you have it in global, you see that there are services. You have already some information about charging. So it will be something that they are planning, okay? And also, I saw a lot of stuff on charging already in some events of XPeng, okay? Kazuza here says, I have a G9 performance and at eco mode, I have a lag while, yeah, eco mode, yeah. It's difficult to accelerate, for instance, when entering a roundabout. Kazuza, don't use eco mode. Use eco mode if you want just to be relaxed and you don't care about that lag, okay? Eco mode is just telling the car that you are not in a hurry, that you have time to do everything. If you want immediate response, use sport mode. Because with sport mode, if you want to enter in a roundabout fast, you will have that available. If you want to enter that relaxed, it's just your foot that needs to be more relaxed, okay? Test it. Put your car in sport mode, do the same route that you do, and try to put in your head that you need to be light in your feet, and you will see that the consumption will be more or less the same. Of course, then, the difficulty using sport mode is that you will feel that the car is asking for more. This was the difficulty that I had. I was pushing the accelerator, but very carefully, but you feel that the car has more to give, and then or you have this control on yourself, or you will start accelerating a little bit more. But test it, you will see, as I saw, because I didn't believe also, it was a viewer of the channel that told me in many comments that it doesn't matter the mode that you are driving, is your foot that is important. And I even got in a discussion with him at that moment, and then I tried, and he was right. He was right. I made the same trip that I was usually doing in eco mode and standard mode on sport, and it was even less battery consumption. Okay, so test it. Flavio, another of my supporters. Thank you very much, Flavio. You are really the man. During your test with the G6, do you feel the larger LFP battery makes a big difference for your daily driving needs? I'm not sure if you already talked about this as I joined later. No, I didn't. And I did mention that for my life, it would be a waste of money. Let's call it like that. If the standard range and long range, as it was in my time, it were exactly the same, the only difference was the range, I would still prefer the standard range, just because my daily life resumes to this. I charge at home every single night, and I do a maximum of 250 kilometers in one day, okay? So with this in mind, I can charge every single day. My car does charge every single day, and every single day in the morning I have 100% battery, and I can do 250 and arrive always with 20-25% of battery at home without any issues, driving fast, driving, pushing hard on the accelerator without any problems. If I want more battery, or if I am more relaxed, I just arrived home with more battery. If I am more aggressive, if I'm more tired, if I'm in a hurry, I just arrive home with less battery. But it's always more than enough with the standard range battery, okay? And then when I go on long trips, in Portugal, for instance, to Porto, to Algarve, I always stop at least once per trip. Because I have kids, my wife, she always wants to stop for a coffee. And as I mentioned already in many videos that I did, I always end up charging more than I planned, because I take more time in the rest rooms, having my drink, having my rest. So I'm not making a less charge because I am in a hurry. So I don't need to have more range. And with the G6 long range that I tested this weekend, I ended up doing exactly the same stops, okay, even with more range. So the only difference was that when I arrived to the charging station with my car, I was, for instance, I'm just going to give not real numbers, arriving with 20, and now with the long range, I was arriving with 35, okay? It was the only difference. And then I was just on there doing this. And while I was during the weekend doing all the other stuff, the difference was that instead of charging from 25 to 100, I was charging from 45 to 100, exactly the same. So for me, it would be exactly the same. But for people that do more, or for people that do not want or cannot charge every single night, then of course longer range, bigger batteries, of course they are preferred. Okay? So last update, they did good fixing how aggressive assisted steering is. So you are one of the persons that also agree with me. I also believe that it's better, the 5.8, comparing with 5.6 and 5.4 that I had the pleasure to use also. For me, 5.8 is a better system for the ADAS, but for many people, they consider that it's more inconsistent. It is always trying to see the distance, but for me, it works better. But again, this is always a matter of perception also, okay? I heard it was because of real world that this doesn't happen, but I don't know whether this is true, or I'm considering getting P7, but I don't know whether get... you are talking about the lag. I don't believe that it's because of that. Of course, the all-wheel, it has more power and has two motors. So I don't know on this case because, for instance, I saw a lot of videos about all-wheel drive on Teslas, that most of the times when people were with OBD connections, the start of the additional motor was only in very specific conditions. So I don't know. I never had all-wheel with me with an OBD that I could check when the second motor starts in which situations, when accelerating, when starting to ride. So this can be a good test for when I have all-wheel drive with me. In sport mode, it is very direct. Yes, I believe so also, Christian. I have that feeling also in sport mode. I believe that most people do not try sport mode because they think that in sport mode is to race against someone else. For me, sport mode is just to have the full power, the full throttle, the full torque available if I want, okay? And if I want to be more aggressive, I am. If I just want to be relaxed, I just take care of that with my feet. So that's why I prefer to use sport mode. Do you think XPeng assisted driver will be able to recognize red lights and roundabouts and stop signs before 2026? Full automated driving has been tested in several countries with Tesla last year. So let me just correct, full autonomous driving were not tested. Supervised autonomous driving was tested under specific conditions, okay? Just a quick remark, okay? And yes, let me try to explain this. We don't have the full-blown NGP system that XPeng has already. So when we compare full self-drive of Tesla, we should compare it with XNGP that XPeng has in China, okay? Because that is the full-blown hardware and software, it's that. When we compare XPilot, that it's a very different way of doing self-driving. Even the process, how it is done, it's a different way. XPilot would be more close to enhanced autopilot that Tesla has, okay? So it does just two free things. That is just keeping you inside the lane, just keep you a distance to the car in front and keeps a speed and makes auto lane changes. It's just that. It's three functionalities that it's called XPilot that is present in our cars. So if they deploy NGP to our cars, if they manage to do that in some way, we will be more or less as full self-drive is in Tesla. So it's up to them to test in our configurations, because we do have less chips or less processing power than the XNGP, full-blown XNGP as in China. But for what is allowed currently by legislation in Europe, we could do these with the current hardware configurations that we have. So I don't know what they are planning to do with XPilot. I have asked an interview, a technical interview with an ADAS engineer to explain the differences in terms of technical differences between XPilot, NGP, and VLA 2.0. So I don't know if they will accept to do that or not. If so, I will have the pleasure to present that also to you guys. Okay. I see your video about Econ Sport, but I'm afraid because it has, yes, but don't be afraid. Try it. If you put it on sport and you just use slowly your feet, you will see that you can control the car, man. It's up to you. The 550 horsepower will only be there if you just push the feet down the accelerator like crazy. If you are, it is as learning how to use X pedal. When I got the first time the car to test it, I was driving like a granny, like accelerating and braking because of the X pedal, because I was used to ICE cars. I was used to, when I release the feet from the accelerator, the car will continue. And it's a matter of getting used to it. Nothing more than that. It's very easy. Try it for a couple of times. And you will see that it's really cool. The pleasure that it gives, if you want to just press a little bit the accelerator, you have it there. And so you can enter the roundabouts fast and then just act relaxed and drive again slowly. It's very good. I have arrived to charge at 4% a few times. So nice and accurate, doesn't disappoint. I didn't had still the courage to do that, but again, I don't need. I sometimes have trouble to make some videos to show the charging specs, because I need to plan everything, because every single day I need to do 250 kilometers, but then 250 kilometers are not below 10%. So I cannot leave to the other day if I have things to do in the other day. So it's sometimes very complex to do this. Had to fight the steering wheel last update. New is obvious better. Yeah, like safer. I had to fight the steering wheel last update. I didn't got this one, man. You are an IT? What do you mean, an IT? I didn't got it. I worked on IT. Yes, I worked in telecommunications. I am using XP car data, and 4G9 is missing some data in PEDs and battery call measures. It's normal, man, because XP car data, it's an app developed by an XPenger, and he has a G6. So probably if you can provide him information on what is missing, he probably can develop then the applications to reach to more models, to more cars, and to give more information. The reason why I included that, it's because he asked me to test, and I told him that I would refer so that we can get more testers for his app, because I do believe that we would all benefit from that. So provide information to him. Nigel, again here, did you test the auto hold? I sent you an email regarding it disengaging when seatbelt was taken off, and was surprised the car moved as I was in my drive during using the entertainment system. I saw your email. I didn't test now with the G6, the new G6. I tested when I got your email. I was in a place and I did test it, but my car didn't move. But I was not able to say that the car was in a straight line or was like a little bit climbing. So it was not starting to ride. So I need to test a little bit more. So, and guys, if you are here listening to us, Nigel sent me an email saying that there seems to be a problem here, that if you press, if you know that if you press the brakes a little bit harder, it will activate auto hold, okay? But what Nigel found is that if you have it on auto hold, then usually you release the feet from the brakes and you are okay, because you know that the car is on auto hold. But he found out that if you take out the seat belt, the car will disengage the auto hold. And this can be dangerous, because if you are not expecting that, the car will move forward and you can be having an accident with your car. So if you can, try it also and let me know. But I will try it again, Nigel. It's not, I will not forget that, okay? Commenter here, another of my big friends, supporters of the channel. So after testing the facelift, how does it feel getting back to your car? Don't talk about that. I did it that today and I love my car, but it felt a little bit disappointing because not only in terms of features, one thing that I loved was the rear view mirror, okay? That it's amazing, it's really great. And I thought it was not useful, but it is. So that was one of the difference. The second one is this performance that I found that on comfort, the car performs as in sport mode in my case. So I enjoyed it. So it seems that it's more responsible. Also, the opening of the doors, the opening of the boots, seems that they are more premium. The steering wheel, it's better. The stalks are much nicer. And one of the things that I loved on the version that I tried was the light gray and also the ambient lighting. Why? Because when I am at night, stopped in some place, and I turn off headlights and I am just there relaxed, if I go and look behind my car that it's all black, it's like looking to a dark hole, okay? You don't see anything. With the light gray, it's amazing. Light gray with the ambient light, the car seems to be even bigger. And you know the XPeng G6 is a big car inside. It has a lot of space. But with the light interior and ambient light, it feels huge. It feels so good. It feels open, you know? And then massage seats. I love it. And so it's complex. And also, not only that, the screens are bigger, so they look better. They seem to have more resolution, more brighter. So I think everything it's better. I do believe that it was a very good improvement, even considering that it's just a facelift. I do believe so. Yeah. So did you have any real reparation? If it is the case, did you consider the cost equivalent of no? I didn't. You mean reparation like if I broke something, if I had any problem with the car? Nothing until now. The only time that I went to the maintenance was to do the 20K, and I got a cleaning of the car. So they washed my car. So nothing more. Until now, nothing in the car. Nothing to talk about. Thanks for the answer. XPeng should give you a P7. I agree. A new next P7. I agree. I'm with you on that. XPeng Daily tells me I am tired and I just say I know, right? Yeah, that happens to me. There is not one single ride where I don't do inside the car. And I always get that monitor driver saying that take a rest. And sometimes immediately in the morning when I'm taking my kids to school, like 8 a.m., the car is telling me to go sleep again. And I agree with him. So XPeng is so good that he knows that I should be sleeping and not taking kids to school. But life happens. So let's close these. So XPeng, so if you have the odds to buy a new car, would you today buying again XPeng, and why? I already answered to that. In principle, yes. So I am not regretting anything of when buying an XPeng. So I still believe that it's a great car and that I would buy it again. If I had the opportunity to buy a G9, probably I would get a G9, even though that it's bigger. But I do believe that it's more premium. It's a better car. But now with the P7 Plus, and even if the new P7 will come, maybe that one. So I don't know. Let's see. But probably yes. Probably if nothing happens, if there is no brand or new model coming that would change the markets again. So again, looking at the price level and what the car does have, I don't see BYD competing. Tesla, it's a good car, guys. I don't dislike Teslas. I do believe that Teslas are very good cars and they do have good software. But for me, they look empty. I feel that they miss something that XPeng gives to me. That is these external casts, these entertainment, this comfort inside the car that I don't believe that I would have with a Tesla. So yes, I would get a new XPeng for sure. Okay, so in Austria we had -17, no problems. -17, it's amazing. I am in the winter with a lot of storms and bad weather, and we have 15 degrees positive. So I don't know what that is. I understand why you said that. I went through these, Mr. Ventas saying that would like to test XPeng and charging here in Finland now because it's -25. I can imagine that the car will make a lot of noise to eat up the battery so that you can charge at that temperatures. That's crazy. I don't even know if I would leave house with that temperature. But anyway, second G6 up, right. When the new G6 expected? Second G6 up, right. So I do believe that they will probably release a new G6, but not a new version. Probably just a change on the chips inside. Again, guys, I don't have any information, official information. I do say this because I think it's the normal thing to happen. So they are developing their own chips, the Turing chips. They know that they are better than the NVIDIAs, so they have more processing power. And if they start building them in mass production, they probably will be cheaper than buying to NVIDIA. So I do believe that because of that, it's normal that they will move from NVIDIA to Turing. And I do believe that they need just to run out of stock of NVIDIA chips and then start using the Turing. They did announce that already for China. And now I believe that in a couple of months, probably at the end of the year, for next year, 2027, we will have a new G6 and G9 with Turing chips. Again, not official in any way. It's just what I think it's the natural evolution of the cars. And then probably in 2028, so 2 years from now, I believe that then they will release a new G6, okay, and new G9. This is my feeling, but again, no official information. After they changed my T-Box, when I tried to change the temperature from my phone, failed set to the temperature it says. That probably is a communication error, so do talk with your repair shop to XPeng maintenance, because probably there is something wrong with that. I will do the change on the T-Box this month, and I can test that also, okay? I've seen the P7, it's very nice. I also saw the P7, the new P7, the P7 Plus, the new P7. I saw all of them, so they are very nice. I like the P7 Plus better the interior, and I do like better the next or new P7, the exterior. So if they make a new P7 with the interior of the P7 Plus, it would be the perfect car for me. It is directly coming back to 18 degrees. Okay, it's related to the change of temperature. That is very strange. Okay. And IT is like a software developer. You talk like a technician. IT stands for. Yeah, I know. Okay, I was not knowing if you were talking about that. Yeah, I am a computer science. I have a computer science degree. I started to be as a programmer, and then I moved to system integrations, and then I moved to sales in telecommunications. I was so I do know how that works, and I do know how to program and plan software. So yeah, that's why I like this type of stuff. Okay, but currently I'm a photographer, so I left that life. But I still do some programming, but on my free time. Okay. Been using it in -7 for a month, a lot of consumption, but still works, of course. What are you looking for the most in the next OTA for Commuter? The next one, as I said before, I already mentioned that, the next one will be bug fixing. So I expect them to fix all the facelift with the 5.8 versions. I hope that they fix all of that. And I believe that they will fix the ADAS, so they will improve the ADAS functionality, less slowdowns, better control of the car, less tentative of the acceleration and brakes when they are using ACC. I believe that this will be the focus for these 5.8.7. Okay, it's my feeling. When do you believe that the new languages such as Portuguese and Spanish will be introduced? I don't know. I'm afraid that with this new VLM that will be introduced in the future, that I don't know if our cars can run it. I'm afraid that they may not develop new languages for the existing infotainment, okay? Because they are changing everything. They are moving to different languages, to the different infotainments. So I am afraid that if we cannot get that, we may be forgotten on that matter. But I don't know. Let's see if the next... So every single time that they released new updates, they were including new languages. So let's see if they continue to do that. If they continue to do that, probably there's a good message for us. But I don't know if Portuguese and Spanish, even though that it's a long... I was expecting that XPeng entered in the Brazilian market so that Portuguese would become an interesting language to be added to the assistant because of the size of the market, because I don't believe that they would spend resources to develop the assistant to speak in Portuguese just for Portugal, because we are a very small country. I need to be fair with this, okay? Okay, are they going to change T-Box on all G6 when it goes to service? What they told me is that every single car that has the old T-Box will need to change the T-Box, and what they are doing is that they are taking the situation when a car goes to the maintenance, to do the normal maintenance, then they will introduce the T-Box. So I talked with the, in this case, Car Class in Portugal, that is one of the retailers for XPeng, where Kevin, that it's the person that sold my car to me, and I am trying to arrange with him the next maintenance so that I can at least, I don't know if I will be able to record the maintenance itself, but at least try to get information on what is seen, what they test, the software, the reports. I will try to get that. And I asked if the T-Box was going to be replaced in my case, and he said, in my case, yes. So I don't know if they are doing it in phased mode because they have less T-Boxes or because it is a longer work to do. But I believe that all XPeng, all G6 and G9s that are from previous the facelift, they will have to change the T-Box, because with the change of the T-Box, the only thing that changes, from what I understood, is the SIM card that will be there. So currently, all of us are connected to a Belgian operator. I think it's Orange, I'm not mistaken. And that's why we here on TuneIn and some on YouTube, you see the advertisements in French, because the car thinks that we are in France. And when we change them, then we will probably be more localized. So probably in Portugal will be an operator from Portugal. And I believe that on the tests that I made on the new G6, the facelift, probably they have already the SIM card, because at least the advertisements on the TuneIn and YouTube were already in Portuguese. Okay, so probably this is already indication for that. Have you integrated your XPeng with home automation platforms like Home Assistant? Any thoughts? Still not, or better. I did in the previous version of a guy that developed something using, it was not Inode. He made an integration and it was free, and I made that integration with Home Assistant, but it was just giving me a couple of information that I didn't find useful to have in Home Assistant, but it was just information. I still have it here, if I'm not mistaken. If I go here to my Home Assistant, let me just check. I don't know where. It's here on presence. Yeah, if you come here, if you see here, I still have here, I don't know if you can see, I have here something, XPeng G6 EV Link. It was EV Link AI location, but now it is not connected, okay? Because the guy then changed that to a paid service. And if on the free service I was not finding it useful, imagine on a paid service. So I didn't, no, it was not Hami. No, it was a guy that developed something. I don't know what was the name. I can give you that after. But he transformed the app in a paid service. But I know that there are a couple of alternatives to that. Also this, it's probably that one. Yeah, if you conduit it. But now this XP card data, it's also a possibility to connect to the Home Assistant. I will try that because he has on the application the MQTT broker that you can have on Home Assistant to get the information. So I will try that. I still didn't try it. The problem with that is that you will have to have an AI box inside the car if you want to have this data while the car is stopped and powered off. So there are a couple of things to do, and I will probably not do it because I still don't see the reason why I would have Home Assistant there. The only reason was just to activate, for instance, charging when my solar panels have additional energy or something like that. But currently I have other things in place. So probably I will just try to connect to Home Assistant just to check the situation. I will inform you guys on that. But until now, I didn't find a very proper connection. And as XPeng only has this Inode availability connection, so there are no open APIs and an official integration from XPeng. I don't know if we will have that proper way. And that's it, guys. We are here at 1 hour and 30. So let's close this already. If you still have questions, leave them then on the comments of the live so that we can then discuss them offline. And that's it, guys. Let me just thank you very much again. Let me just do one last thing that for me it's very important. Let me thank to all the supporters that are supporting the channel since the beginning. People that are paying a membership, so they are giving me money to support the channel. Thank you guys very much. It's really appreciated. And let me say that since the last live, I got a couple of new members that I would like to shout out to them. So João Lopes, Fortnite Kingdom, George Antunes, Matias Folt, Bob El Minero, Jakub Simurda, Tidals, Julian Bergiers, Victor Santos Garzo, and finally Adrian Ibanez Galeria, that are my recent supporters for the channel. Thank you guys very much. It is really appreciated. And to all of you, even the ones that are not supporters, that are just subscribers, thank you very much for being here with me again on this live. and following the channel. It is really meaningful for me, and I hope to see you in the next one, guys. See you soon. Bye.